There's many issues, and to generalise and say we've got one answer for you is a lot of rubbish. You can't. But there's been a predominant factor, and the predominant factor actually sat really strongly with me when I was in the military. So just a quick background, I didn't want to put my hand up and ask for help in the military because I felt that I'd be seen as weak, and that soldiers wouldn't want to follow someone who's weak. And not only that, I didn't want my career affected, so I didn't want to put my hand up in a system which I didn't necessarily know if that would support me or go from there. So the thing is, there's my girls in the background running around. The thing about that though is I then chose a medium to put my hand up, and that was away from the system and in the seclusion and the help for someone that really resonated with me. But there was another thing at play, and I see this quite regularly with a lot of men, and that is pride. And it's quite a hard thing to take, but I know that a lot of men will understand what I'm saying, is that we actually feel a level of pride, and if we're to admit that something's not going quite right for us, or we admit that we think we're weak, or we think we have to be vulnerable or something like that, then that doesn't go too well with our pride. Now, pride's an interesting thing. Pride happens because we have an attachment to something, and we have a need for it to pan out a certain way. Particularly, we have a need to be seen a certain way. When you have an attachment to, say, a role in life or a way to be perceived in life by other people, in other words, called an act, then what can so often happen is this thing called pride comes in and stops us doing what we know deep down inside is really important for us. Hey, Eve, how you going? So the huge thing here, though, is to ask ourselves the question, is it worth holding on now? Is it just worth holding on to this realistically preconceived farcical thing up here, which is saying, hey, I can't do this, and I don't want to be seen in this light. So often, I would believe I had to be seen in a certain way, so that would stop me acting, so it would stop me being who I really was. It would stop me admitting my pain to everyone else. And who's the only person well, correction, it's not the only person, but who does that hurt? Me. That hurt me, yes, and it hurt my loved ones. It hurt Kirsty. It's like Kirsty would sit there and go, James, when will you just let down your guard? When will you let down this act? And please, for God's sake, help yourself. Because at the moment you're in so much pain. I can see it, everyone, well, close people could see it, but you're not allowing yourself to go through this gateway. And it's really cool that my girls are in the background at the moment because they copped the brunt of it. This act that everything was okay, they copped the brunt of it. They copped my anger outbursts. They copped my hypervigilance. They copped all the crap that wasn't me. It was just what was going on for me, panning out in behaviours and characteristics which weren't me. So by letting go of my pride, by eating it, and letting go of the attachment to be seen a certain way, and putting my hand up and asking for other people for help that resonated with me, that saved my life. And it saved my family. I look back, a lot of people will throw up at me, and someone did the other day. They said, I can't change because I fear being seen in the workplace, or I fear what other people will think of me. And I go, yeah, that's cool. And I get that as well. So 2 major incidents happened well, not 2, but many incidents happened in Iraq. 2 to speak of. One, I get hit by a roadside bomb. I'm in an incident site for over 10 hours. It takes bullets and bombs to extract ourselves out of that and go from there. And I refused Kazovac. I said I was not going to go anywhere without my men and without my vehicle. I can't deploy for about 2 weeks because I'm injured. I've got an arm that doesn't really work. About 2 weeks later, I finally go, no, enough's enough. I've got to go out again. Within 4 hours of going out on that next mission, bang, I've got a rocket propelled grenade that's meant to be coming my way. An amazing guy, Private Smith, in the vehicle in front of me, puts covering fire down and saves my life. When we finally extracted ourselves from that situation into the desert, I pulled everyone in. In that mission, I had well over 150 people under my command, of all varying rank levels, including people of higher rank than me. But because I was the guy in charge of protection, it was my job, my responsibility. And I took my body armour off, I took everything off, and I was just me. And I got Smitty out in front of the whole crowd, and I said, mate, I just want to thank you. You know, you were 4 hours in 63-degree heat, and you were standing on picket for 4 hours, and then we roll, and you could have been looking the other way. You could have been doing something that you weren't, but you were there for me, and you saved my life, and I can go home to my family because of you. And I cried. The boss crying in front of over 150 people. Now, which one do you reckon they remember? Me being stoked for 10 hours, or me opening up and showing myself in front of people? It's obvious. Because why? They saw me. I was so able to be me in that moment. I just given up any facade in that moment. I could just be me. And that's the one they will remember. So you will, if you are hurting right now and you haven't put your hand up, you will never know who, by putting your hand up and asking for help, you give permission for them, other people around who are also hurting, are also going through crap, to do the same. Man, we need to be leaders amongst ourselves right now. We need to stand up and be counted. You know, someone also asked me, what's the predominant emotion that men are feeling at the moment? And it's sadness, those that can still feel. It's sadness because we've got a lot of hurt in us that we're holding on to. And a lot of people don't know how to release it. And it's something that crying just won't fix. It's bigger than that. It's far bigger than that. So be leaders, gents. Stand up, be counted. If you're hurting, if you're stuck, if you're hollow, if you're disconnected from your partner and you know you've got more to give, put your hand up. Find someone that resonates with you. And then open your ears, open your eyes, open your senses and receive it. Pride's very low vibrating emotion. Very low vibrating emotion. It'll hold you stuck. And the person that's really hurting is you. So gents, if you are hurting, if you're stuck, you're hollow or whatever, you know what to do. Put your hand up. I trust that this has been a benefit. Much love to everyone. And if I don't speak to you before Easter,